Hello everybody, I'm Mike Levin, and today I'm going to talk about the Tic Toc effect of life and the snowball effect. So this is probably one of my most important concepts and illustrations. Since I've started these, I figured I'd start at the very beginning. So in life, say you've got an average lifespan of 100 years, and you can't really start doing things and becoming accomplished until you're at least 10 years old, and then up to your later years, 90 years old. So you're talking about 80 years you're working with very generously, and there's about 365 days in a year times 80 years. You're talking approximately just a hair under 30,000 days. Now, you're not going to be working on things and trying to be effective every one of those days. Let's stick to business days. That's 5 out of 7, which is very close to 2/3. So 2/3 of 30 is pretty easy to calculate. Again, we're just dealing with rough numbers. That brings us to 20,000 days. And of course, a day has 24 hours, but you're not going to be working all 24 hours. So let's say the maximum you're actually going to try and work on stuff and be effective is 10 hours. So it's really easy math. That 20,000 days becomes 200,000 hours. Now, according to Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers book, it takes about 10,000 hours of practice to become truly expert at anything. So that makes really easy math. You just cross this out, and that's 20 things that a human being can optimally master in their lifetime. But really, we're not Batman, and we're not going to be that obsessive about things. So it's pretty reasonable to say we can accomplish and master one thing in life. We see that happen with people all the time, up to a range of about, I think, 5 is a fair thing, a fair number of things in the course of a full lifetime to master. Now, the next thing I want to really illustrate here is how the time gets distributed. Even though you're dealing with 10,000 hours and such, the rhythm of life for human beings and really all animals on the planet looks something like this, 24-hour cycles. And going down the middle of that is the day-night divide. So down here are your sleeping hours, and up here are your waking hours. And every day has a certain amount of energy to it where you can produce a productive product. Essentially throw off something here. 3, 4, 5. Now, like I say with weekends, you can't be totally obsessive, so we rest, and then the process begins again. Now, the question is, what happens next with these things? What are the nature of these things, and what happens next? Well, there's various scenarios. These are products, and you're accomplishing something, and you're trying to get return on what you're doing. And so there's different ways to look at it. If you were simply investing money, that would be going into some sort of account. You can also optionally be investing in yourself, in your very own skills. Things like athletics. And then the last thing is you could be investing into the mastery of some sort of tool. And then finally, you could be producing some intellectual product like writing or a book or code. And so the way for this to create the snowball effect is these items actually have to sort of lump together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the product of the next day, of the next week. And pretty soon you have enough built up either in money, your own internal skills, the mastery of some tools, or writing, such that it starts to, anyone who built a snowman knows this effect. You have to build up a certain amount before when it starts rolling, it starts picking up mass on its own, and you start getting work essentially for free. And you get more and more going in. So as time passes and you keep contributing more into this, you're contributing more into something that has a life of its own and is growing on its own. And that's what you're trying to accomplish. In the very competitive world we live in, you need two things working to your advantage. Your relentless contribution to your goals in the passage of time, the tick tock, every day contributing, but also doing it in a way that it'll start paying you back with compounding returns over time and produce something bigger than you ever could with your own direct efforts.